They came to humiliate me. You're under arrest for some HOA nonsense. I didn't argue. I hit record, dialed 911, and asked one question that made their knees buckle. A minute later, they realized who they were dealing with. Their authority deflated to zero. Their plan fell apart in real time. Watch till the end. I'll give you 3 simple steps to flip a doorstep shakedown so the ones leaving are them, not you. Sunday, 7/12. A quiet cul-de-sac, sprinklers still ticking. Thomas Hale opens his door in a hoodie and jeans. 2 men in dark blue windbreakers, compliance police in vinyl letters. A white Explorer idles at the curb, community safety unit logo that wouldn't fool a bored 9th grader, regular plates, dealer frame. Good morning, sir, the tall one says. Homeowners police, complaint received. You need to come with us to the office, now. Hale notices the tells, hand-stitched patches, Baofeng radios, badges with no numbers, wrong jargon. He smiles like any suburban neighbor would and double-taps his smartwatch. Doorbell cam uploads to the cloud. Garage cam zooms plates. HOA office at 7 a.m. Sunday, he says lightly. Show me credentials and a court order. I'll call the city to confirm. You have the right to be silent, the shorter one says. Anything you say will be used in HOA court. Hale taps a preset. The watch mic opens a line. 911. What's your emergency? He pitches his voice for the porch. Sure, gentlemen. Wallet and coat. 1 minute. Then, barely moving his lips. 2 armed males impersonating police. White Explorer with community safety unit. My address is redacted. Claiming to arrest me for HOA violations, visible firearms and armor, recording video, alone in house. Copy, dispatch says. Units 2 minutes out. Stay on the line. The tall one flips a folder. Fat fonts, shall, immediate, Gmail footer. The short one's jacket rides up. Cheap optic on a compact pistol, greasy lens. You're adding non-compliance fees and contempt, the tall one says. Bench warrant issued. Bench warrants come from courts, Hale says. You aren't one. You're on my porch with guns and a fake car. You do not have consent to enter my home. 2 quick siren chirps at the mouth of the street. The imposters back down the steps without turning. 2 black and whites sweep in. One blocks the Explorer's nose. The other slides long across the bend. Officers step out. Calm, visible hands, body cams blinking, real Motorola's clacking. Morning, the primary calls. Hands where we can see 'em. Sir at the door. Step back and close up. We've got it. Hale eases the door nearly shut, keeps a sight line. The neighbor with a trash bin freezes. Somewhere a German Shepherd goes quiet. We're contracted security, the tall one tries. Cool, the officer says. Interlace fingers on your head. Slow. Spotlight washes the vinyl eagle with the wrong head and a dealer plate frame. Dispatch, the officer keys. Request HOA contact for Sunrise Terrace. Any contractor named Compliance Police? Start me an on-call detective, likely impersonation. Silence. Then the short one recalculates. His fingers flex. Bad habit before bad decisions. Don't, the primary says softly. He doesn't. They comply. Cuffs ratchet. The officers peel them, clear the Explorer, bag the folder, the radios, the cheap holsters. A sergeant arrives, face like poured concrete, and looks at the door. Sir, he calls. We'll need a statement if you're willing. Hale slides the door open, keeps the smile of a neighbor who almost had a strange morning. Inside the hall, a jacket hangs on a newel post. In the pocket, a leather case with an embossed gold shield and a name that closes mouths. He doesn't touch it, not yet. At the curb, the imposters sit on asphalt. One breathes through his nose to look brave. The other stares at the Explorer's hood ornament like it owes him money. The sergeant lifts a brow at the homeowner's police folder. Some days, he says, you can't make it up. Somebody did, Hale says. On a printer. Why you? The sergeant asks. Could be random, Hale says. Could be the neighborhood address list leaked. Could be they like people who fix their mailboxes late. You got the plates and video? Everything, Hale says. Cloud already. The sergeant glances at the wrong eagle on the door and nods toward his unit. Come give us 5 minutes for a statement, then coffee. On me. Hale finally reaches for the jacket on the newel and pulls the leather case free. He flips it, fast, almost apologetic. The sergeant reads the seal, then Hale's eyes. Well, he says, that explains the calm. Let's do it clean, Hale says. You keep the scene. If it grows across your city limits, I'll bring a task force. If it goes interstate, I won't step on your toes. The sergeant huffs. Deal. Cut 2. Hale at the kitchen table with a legal pad, a quiet pen, and the first layer of a map taking shape. Same day, late morning, precinct interview room. The tall imposter, name on his license reads Evan Frisk, sits cuffed to a ring. The short one, Marty Klein, chews panic. A public defender hasn't arrived yet. Both have signed Miranda. A city detective runs point. Hale sits back at the wall, a silent piece of furniture, watching. Contracted security, huh? The detective says, sliding photos across the table. Explorer, Vinyl Eagle, Baofeng, Gmail footer. Frisk tries. The board doesn't authorize guns and arrests, the detective says. So let's talk authorization. Who prints your letters? Who pays for the wrap? Where's your office? Klein stares at the corner camera as if it's a mercy. Sweat lathers his cheek. We can charge you today with impersonating a peace officer, attempted kidnapping, carrying concealed without a permit, menacing, conspiracy, false imprisonment, the detective says even. That's here, not counting whatever this is in the next county, or the state, or online. Hale says nothing, not yet. He watches cadence, eyes, breathing, the grooves where truth will eventually run. They stall. We're auxiliary, Frisk tries. The HOA wants painted mailboxes and quiet pools, the detective says. Not kidnapping. A knock at the glass. The sergeant leans in, murmurs. They found phones in the Explorer. One is Klein's, cracked screen, telegram icon tucked in a folder called Work. The other is a clean Android with a physical 2FA key on a lanyard, chat threads, compliance ops, drop schedules, board liaison. In the back and forth, photos of homes from different metro areas, spreadsheets of violations, call scripts, and bank routing numbers. VoIP accounts, a list of target addresses sorted by likelihood to pay. Hale flips through stills. Timestamp photos from 3 states. Same Vinyl Eagle everywhere. Same Gmail footer. The chat's name, a director. The detective looks at Hale. Feels bigger than our corner. Hale nods. It is. They splitted the work. PD gets the local cases rolling. Hale starts phone dumps. Preservation letters to VoIP providers and cloud accounts. Subpoenas in draft. He calls his ASAC and threads the needle to open a quick joint case with financial crimes and public corruption. The hook isn't the porch drama. It's the interstate wire fraud, extortion, and the part that always pisses him off. People dressed as authority hurting civilians. They run the phones fast. The director uses a VoIP number fronted through a call center in Nevada. The wrap shop is real. The invoices are paid by a Shell LLC that also leases units in a self-storage complex 20 minutes from Hale's street. The LLC was formed by a filing service and funded from a crypto off-ramp into a checking account in the name of another Shell. But shells cast shadows. The monthly rent payments, the bulk orders for badges and windbreakers, the Chinese radios, fuel charges pinned to the Explorer's plates. By afternoon, a state judge signs 2 warrants. One for the storage unit, one for a small office in a tan strip mall with a bland name, Community Resource Solutions. Storage unit 1540. Roll up door slats as the team lifts. Inside, boxes of printed notices, vinyl patches, a heat press, cheap badge blanks, a laminator, 2 more Vinyl Eagles uncured on Mylar. In a crate, 6 more Baofengs, a bag of duty belts, a receipt stack, a spiral notebook with addresses. Hale hates spiral notebooks. Spiral notebooks mean someone believes paper can keep secrets. They catalog everything. A junior agent grins at the heat press like a prop from a bad show. Hale doesn't grin. Strip Mall, 1710. The office smells like coffee, toner, and old carpet. Desks, 3, phones, 6, all VoIP, headsets still warm. Wall whiteboard, Q3 compliance goals with bullet points. Outreach, collections, legal escalation. On the window, frosted vinyl, residents first. A woman sits straight at the center desk, fingers in her lap, calm in a practiced way. Her name tag says Stacy. Counsel? Hale asks. She meets his eyes. Please. They wait. The PD knocks again at the glass. Counsel arrives, mid-level, competent. They Mirandize formal. She says her client will talk about what's in the room, not about anyone else. Who's the director? Hale asks. I don't know, she says. We get leads from a list broker. Which broker? A guy named Vaughn, she says. We pay him in crypto. He sends CSVs. What else does he send? He has a liaison with boards, she says. Sometimes we'd get letters with real HOA letterhead and a request to assist. We made outreach calls. If people didn't pay, Vaughn sent a team. Which team? Frisk and Klein, she says, eyes on the table. Who gave you my address? Hale asks. She blinks. Your address? You had a unit set for my home, Hale says. Sunday morning. She swallows. We pushed a batch Friday. I don't single anyone out. He lets the quiet sit. He is unkind to quiet. She breaks. Look, she says, I'm not a thug. I answer phones. People are rude. They hang up, they pay sometimes and scream sometimes. I didn't know they had guns. Compliance police on windbreakers, Hale says. Badges, fake warrants, you never wondered? Another quiet. Counsel lays a palm on her client's wrist. The woman looks at that hand like it's a distant shore. I wondered, she says. Vaughn's last name, Hale says. I don't know, she says. We only ever used Signal. He's got a Fox avatar. They seize the desktops, pull the drives, image the VoIP system, bag a stack of prepaid SIMs. On a corkboard, HOA rosters with hand-highlighted addresses, sticky notes that read, Easy, Refused, Move to Field. There's a spreadsheet printout in the tray. Sunrise Terrace, Batch Mailbox Paint. Hale's address is line 17. He stands with the paper in his hand for a long second. Not because it's his, because line 18 is the neighbor who froze with a trash bin. By nightfall, Klein wavers. He asks the detective, not Hale, for a soda. He asks for a chair without the ring. He says he didn't want to hurt anyone. He says Vaughn promised them authority. He says the board was on board. He says a lot. Hale lets the detective do the dance, then steps in, the way he does when the room needs silence more than noise. You picked this neighborhood? Why? Hale asks. Still, not a muscle wasted. Lists, Klein says. From where? B-broker, Klein says. Public records, county property rolls. People complain about HOA stuff online. Vaughn scraped it. Said people scared of fines pay fast. Who told you to use guns? Nobody, Klein mutters. It's for safety. Hale stares until the word decays in Klein's mouth. Safety for who, he asks. Klein looks at the table. Us. Vaughn's drop, Hale says. The Fox Den, Klein blurts, as if the words jump to be free. Co-work space off Mendel. He meets there Thursdays. He pays cash or crypto. He's got a stupid ring with a fox head. He thinks it's funny. The detective marks the time in the statement. They build the next warrant. Hale calls his ASAC again. We have a hub, he says, and a name with a costume. Get him, she says. Thursday 10:05, co-working space called The Foundry. Plants, poured concrete, kombucha taps, silent stares over laptops. The task force blends with the furniture. Jeans, backpacks, 100,000 screens between them and anything that's real. A guy in a fitted blazer swans through the atrium with a fox head signet ring and the careless energy of someone who's never been punched right. They let him sit, they let him open a laptop. They let him connect to the Wi-Fi, and then they freeze the room in a way the Foundry has never been frozen. Soft voices, hands visible. Nobody panics because everyone here has been to a protest or watched a show. The Fox Ring man, Ethan Vaughn on the co-working lease, smiles a too-white smile for 3 seconds, then measures the badges he's shown and stops. Interview room again, counsel again, Miranda again. Vaughn wants to talk because men like Vaughn like to believe the right speech saves the day. I run a lead gen company, he says. It's marketing. Everyone does it. You people would hate to see what data brokers sell about you. We do see it, Hale says. That's why we're here. I'm not responsible for what contractors do, Vaughn says. I source lists. Public records, newsletters, HOA rosters, stolen rosters, Hale says. Leaked, Vaughn counters quick. From board members who needed a side hustle, I just facilitated. You built the Shell LLC, Hale says. You paid for wraps. You ordered badges. You took cuts on collections. Prove it, Vaughn says, and then instantly regrets it because he hears himself and hears the way that word sounds in rooms like this. Hale sets photos on the table. Heat press, badges, windbreakers, spreadsheets. The Signal Fox avatar threaded right up to the co-working lease. Bank records. Crypto off-ramp to checking. ACH to wrap shop. Money orders to storage unit. A Slack export from Community Resource Solutions where EV approves a script edit. Say office, not station. Extortion, wire fraud, conspiracy, impersonating officers, attempted kidnapping, Hale says even. Plus, you trafficked in personally identifying information. Stolen property. Each call across a state line is a wire count. Each drop a separate act. Vaughn leans back, ring flashing. He sets his teeth like a man who has only negotiated in rooms without consequences. You think a jury cares about HOA fines? He asks. It's pennies. Juries care about guns on doorsteps, Hale says. About elderly neighbors who panic when police show up and demand cash. About a kid down the block who opened the door while mom was at work. About a woman who didn't sleep for 3 nights because 2 men with radios pounded her porch at dawn and told her there was a warrant. Vaughn blinks. That last example isn't hypothetical. He can tell from the way it lands in the room. Okay, he says, I'll give you a list of boards that sold rosters. You'll give us everything, Hale says. Broker identities, contractors in other cities, your backups, your key store, and you'll do it now. Counsel cuts in, hands up. We're willing to discuss cooperation. We're past willing, Hale says. He looks at Vaughn for a long time, and the room seems to cool a few degrees. Understand me. This isn't about fines and paint shades. It's about teaching citizens that the door at 7 a.m. is dangerous. You put a costume on fear. You made authority into a weapon because you thought people wouldn't know the difference. They do, and now you do. They take the cooperation. The warrants multiply. The task force grows. Out-of-state agencies start calling with matches. Same Vinyl Eagles, same scripts, different neighborhoods. Board members who leaked rosters get visits. A rap shop owner finds religion. A storage facility manager remembers a license plate. Vaughn signs a proffer and talks like a faucet, his ring face down on the table, the fox staring into laminate. Weeks later, a press conference nobody asked for but everybody expects. The U.S. attorney thanks the locals. The sergeant with the poured concrete face nods once on the podium and leaves without giving a soundbite. Hale is not in front of cameras. He isn't built for that. He's built for rooms where time and silence intersect until people decide who they are. Sunday again, 8:10. The cul-de-sac is the cul-de-sac. Sprinklers right on time. The freeway a ribbon. The neighbor who froze with the trash bin waves with 2 fingers. Hale waves back. His lawn is not the best on the street. He likes it that way. The mailbox is painted the allowed shade eventually, because norms are how we live together until someone weaponizes them. A real HOA letter sits in his mail slot with a stapled trifold newsletter. Block party, pool hours, paint chips. Someone has added a bold line in the margins in a font that tries too hard. Remember, HOA does not employ police. We will never arrest you. Call 911 for anything suspicious. Hale smiles at that. Imperfect, a little late, but right. He takes the letter inside and tapes it to the fridge where he keeps funny receipts and serious reminders. He brews coffee. He stands at the window with the mug in both hands, barefoot on hardwood, and watches a kid ride a scooter in wobbly loops while a parent shadows with a palm ready. On his counter, an email from the ASAC. Great work. Next up, Phoenix has a batch of eagles and a fox. He sets the mug down and laughs once without humor. There is always another batch, always another costume for fear. He picks up his jacket, not for the leather case this time, but for the keys, and goes outside to fix the loose latch on his gate because that is the size of most days. Small things, done right, until the big things knock at the door and you open it, with your eyes clear. Behind him, the doorbell camera watches the street. Ahead of him, the fence latch clicks into place, honest and plain. Subscribe right now, and send this video to a friend today. These 3 steps can save him nerves, money, and security at the door.